Uprooted Theatrical Studios presents.
It's 10 Tips Tuesday.
Hello, my name is Elise Tyler, and I am a director and producer here in beautiful Los Angeles, California, by way of Nashville, Tennessee. I moved here 5 years ago and have since directed a feature-length documentary that is coming out soon. I've produced a couple of feature films, directed and produced tons of music videos, commercials, short films, you name it, I've probably worked on something like that. So yeah, these are my 10 tips for an aspiring filmmaker. Kind of jump around, there's no rhyme or rhythm, just the things that came to my mind. Okay, so number 1, always introduce yourself as the job title that you want to be. So what I mean is when you're at a party, you're at a social event, you introduce yourself to someone. Second thing that they're going to ask you after they learn your name, what do you do? All right, you could say, well, I want to be a filmmaker, but right now I work at a restaurant, or right now I'm a student. Instead, you could say, I'm a director. I haven't made my first film yet, but I have a script, and my goal is to get it made in the next year. Or, I'm a producer. And don't even say anything else. Just say it. I'm a filmmaker. If it feels weird, you can practice it. It felt really weird to me at first, especially when I began directing. I had been producing for 5 or 6 years when I first started directing, and I had to reintroduce myself to a lot of people as a director for the first time. I felt like I hadn't earned that title. It was really hard for me to say that. But I quickly learned that a lot of people say they're a director or they're a filmmaker who had much less experience than I did. So it's all relative, it's all subjective. It's better to be confident and just own your dream. Okay, so number 2. This is hard. You literally have to risk everything to be successful in this industry. I'm not going to cherry coat it. You have to leave home. I had to move. I had to move to LA or New York. I'm not saying you have to move to LA or New York, but a lot of times if you want to get bigger, you have to move. You have to make a lot of sacrifices with your friendships, with your family, relationships. People who aren't in this industry sometimes don't understand the demand, that the hours and the energy, it's just a lot. It's a really demanding field to be in. But if they love you and they support you, they're going to understand that it's your passion. They're not going to judge you. I've had a couple of friends who are like, you're never around, you're not able to hang out. And the truth is I'm busy. I'm out here pursuing my dream. And if they don't get that, then sorry. That's just kind of the deal. So, when you're around people who understand that you're fighting for your dream, it's going to be a lot easier. So yeah, risk everything. Okay, so number 3, don't ever think that a crew position is below you. And what I mean by this is maybe you went to film school, or maybe you're out there confidently introducing yourself as a director. But the truth is that it takes time to get those positions on a professional set. Very few people graduate film school and immediately start directing like a big production. It happens sometimes, but it's rare. Most people have to start out as a production assistant or a PA. These are the people who really are so vital to every set. They maybe go get coffee for people, or they're making sure that no one's going to be walking into a scene when the camera's rolling who isn't supposed to be walking. A PA basically does anything the production needs, and they're kind of like the catch-all. It's a great position to learn. I started out as a PA. Those were some of the hardest jobs I was ever on, but I learned so much. And the benefit of doing things like production assisting is you get to work around bigger directors, bigger producers, you get to be on bigger film sets. It's a great way to connect, to network, to learn, and the money is not bad. They're really long, hard days. Film sets tend to be at least 12 hours, generally more. A PA can expect like a 16-hour day. But, you get paid about $200 to PA, and it's a great way to learn. Okay, so number 4, make passion projects. It's really important. You have to make passion projects. Not everything, like I said, is going to pay well at first. But this goes all the way through your career. There's going to be projects you want to make that don't have any money involved or don't have resources. You just have to figure out how to do it. If you want to direct music videos, for example, find a song that you really love, go out and film some stuff, edit it, put it to the song, release it on YouTube or Vimeo as like a fan video, an unofficial music video, and then suddenly, people are watching your stuff. Make short films, make stuff with your friends, go out and do photography, write a script, do things because you're passionate about them. Okay, so number 5, it's really important that you devote time to watching the masters. Any art that you're in, whether it's painting, sculpture, architecture, you're a violinist, you're going to study the masters, and that's no different for filmmaking. And I'm not just talking about American masters, I'm talking about foreign cinema, I'm talking about every era and genre of film. What I like to do is to pick a director and then literally go watch every film that they ever made. And it's really fun to do it in chronological order. Watch their first film all the way through to their last film. You're going to be able to see how their techniques and their storytelling evolves over time. You can take notes about what kind of camera angles they like to use, or if there's themes that you see in a film or in a trilogy of their films. And again, YouTube and Vimeo, there's multiple channels dedicated to film analysis and film critiques. Go learn from these people. You're going to really further your understanding and appreciation for the art. And again, foreign cinema is great. Persian film, for example, is a much overlooked aspect of world cinema. Some of the best filmmakers came out of Iran, and a lot of Western audiences have never seen those films. So reach out, watch the masters. Okay, number 6, use whatever gear you have. If you have an iPhone, you have a camera. This thing, mine's a 10, it shoots in 4K. That's cinema quality film. So there's really no excuse. You can invest an additional like $100 and get a little filmmaking kit for your iPhone. It comes with like a microphone. It already has a mic, but like a stronger microphone, a tripod, a little handheld gimbal, which makes it kind of smooth looking. And suddenly you can make an entire film on that. People have done it, and a lot of people use iPhones for all sorts of projects. So, don't restrict yourself because you think you don't have a nice enough camera. You do. And also, it's okay to make stuff on crappy cameras. It's kind of fun, find your parents' old camcorder or a Super 8 and learn how to make something on a different format from digital. It's really fun, and you might love how it looks. Okay, so number 7, and this is really big in my opinion. I think that every filmmaker should learn how to edit. And the reason I say that is because so much of the storytelling gets done in the edit. You begin to understand why you need to have certain shots, like a close-up or a reverse, or, you learn why continuity is so important. You learn how being really close up on someone's face is going to have a much different impact than a wide shot for those very emotional scenes where you're trying to grab the audience. You learn so much in the edit, and you can download Adobe Premiere. That's what a lot of editors use. That's what I edited my feature-length film on. You can again look at YouTube. There's tons of tutorials. There's a 30-day free trial for Premiere. Use those 30 days to edit that passion project that you're making, And I bet you're going to really amaze yourself by the end how much you were able to teach yourself through editing. And even if you have no desire to be a professional editor, it's going to help you as a filmmaker and storyteller to know how to edit. And it'll also give you more respect for the people who don't work on set, because editors, they're not usually on set with you, but you give them all the footage and then they have to kind of make sense of it, and they're kind of the forgotten heroes of filmmaking, in my opinion. Okay, so number 8, surround yourself with people who also want to make films. This is important. Filmmaking is highly collaborative. It's one of the most collaborative arts, if not the most collaborative. It's very hard to do filmmaking by yourself. When I was first starting, I became friends with another group of people who also wanted to make films. And, one of them was a cinematographer and one of them was an art director. And we all kind of pooled our resources and our knowledge and just began practicing. It helped us grow our portfolios. We learned a lot. There was very little judgment and a lot of support. And we're all still friends. A bunch of us ended up moving to Los Angeles. We don't necessarily work together anymore, but we're all really successful in our own chosen position. And it's great. You need to have that type of collaboration, and you need to learn that early on, because you're going to have to collaborate with a lot of people to make it in this industry. Okay, so number 9. Every single project is going to be a learning experience. It doesn't matter how many things you have made. Every single project is different, and every single project has something that goes wrong. It's kind of a joke among producers that something is going to go wrong. We never know what it's going to be. It's usually the thing that you least expect, and it's going to go wrong, and you can't get stressed out by it. Early in your career, you might get really stressed out about things on set, but the fact is like, this is not a perfect art. It's not a perfect science. It's kind of an experiment every single time. And the more that you can accept that there's always going to be a new hurdle to overcome, the less stressed you'll be and the more fun you're going to have in the process. Okay, and number 10, and this is kind of ironic because if you are still watching, thank you for listening and dedicating some of your time to my ideas. But my last tip is, don't listen to anybody but yourself. You just have to follow your gut. This is a really hard path, I'm not gonna lie. A lot of people are trying to succeed at being a filmmaker, and I don't know why one person succeeds and another person doesn't. I really don't. Other than I believe for myself, I didn't listen to the countless people who told me I was never gonna make it, who told me I couldn't direct, who told me it was a bad idea to move to Los Angeles. I mean, all the bad advice in the world. For some reason, I didn't listen to it, and I have to think that that has something to do with it. I just persevered. No one knows your life better than you, and it's something that if you feel so passionate and you truly believe in yourself and you really don't give up, and you're a really hard worker, because this is hard physical work, like long hours, long days. You have to be willing to really work. But if you can do all of those things and just continue to do that, you're going to find your place. And it might look like a very different place than you originally imagined. Maybe it's a much bigger thing than you ever dreamed up, or maybe it's a smaller path than you initially set out to have for yourself. Regardless, you're going to find your place if you really stick to your voice, you're true to yourself, and you just don't give up. I really believe that. And, the thing that I would like to leave you with is your gift to the world is that you are completely unique. Your perspective is totally one of a kind. And your storytelling as a filmmaker is going to be completely unique to you. That is an absolute gift. No one else is going to be able to tell the stories, to make the films that you are able to make. So if you focus on that and you protect that and you nourish that, that is going to be such a great gift that you end up sharing with people you can't go wrong, because then you're speaking your truth. So I hope this was helpful. Good luck. I would love to stay in touch. If you want to reach out to me, my website, elisetyler.com, my email's on there. And thank you again for taking some of your day to listen to my hopefully decent ideas.